Welcome you all to the training session on statistical process control. It's the day 3, that is third session. And in today's session, after the clause of confidentiality, we will quickly go through what we have learned so far. Then we will start new topics, that is how to carry out the SPC, that is what are the various steps involved. It is not just preparing the control charts. Before that, there are certain steps you need to follow. ऐसा नहीं कि कंट्रोल चार्ट बना दिया और एसपीसी हो गया, नो. सो कैसे करना है, कैसे शुरुआत करोगे आप, what are the methodology you need to adopt, that we are going to see. Then types of control chart based on the data, that is your attribute type data or variable data, there will be different charts you need to use, and we will see types of control chart. Then preparing control chart in the Excel sheet, we will start preparing the control chart on the Excel sheet, that is we will start with IMR chart, that is individual moving range chart. Now why we are going to use it in the Excel sheet? To prepare the initial control limits or trial control limits, you need to utilize some program or say, so Excel sheet is a very basic thing, everybody knows. Even without that also you can do, okay, you can manually also plot. I will also tell you, because there are only the formulas involved. You can put it on a piece of paper, calculate the data, and you can make it manually also. No need to have the Excel sheet. Just to clear you the fundamentals, we will show it on the Excel sheet. Same thing you can do it on the this also, manually also. Then because there are certain charts like your variable charts which are depending on the subgroup size. So what is this subgroup? We will go through that. What is the subgroup, definition of subgroup, understand what is subgroup, and then we will start preparing the control charts which are based on the subgroup, variable type control chart, but which require subgroup data. So these are basically X bar R chart and X bar S chart that we are going to prepare. So if time permits, we will complete the X bar S chart today itself, otherwise tomorrow. No need to be hurriedly, understanding is important. So clause of confidentiality, as we are telling you at the start of every session, the training content is of proprietary nature. Do not share it on any of the public platform. No screenshots, no recordings. Share the knowledge. Do not share the contents directly. So what we have learned so far, we have gone through the history of SPC. We have seen how Walter A. Shewhart has initiated it in the Bell Laboratories in 1920. And the work has been carried forward by the Dr. W.E. Demings. Then we have seen what is statistical process control. It is basically controlling your process, monitoring, measuring, taking the action, utilizing the statistical methods. Then we have seen that every process will have the variation, and the variation will be because of common causes, also known as random causes, chance causes, unassignable causes, or special causes, that is known as assignable causes. Then we have seen how we can identify the special cause patterns on the control chart, because to get your process in the state of statistical control, you need to remove the assignable causes. So how you can identify that there are certain assignable or special causes present? So that we have seen the patterns, eight types of patterns are there. Then we have seen the various states of process, that is in control, capable. The process first needs to be brought to the state of statistical control, and then you need to make it capable. Means assess the capability and take the action to control the variation, reduce the variation, and thus improve the capability. We have seen that detection tolerates waste, whereas prevention avoids the waste. That's why our focus should be on the process. Our process should be on making the process robust rather than just focusing on the detection or testing. Detection and testing is important. They have its role to play. But to make your product reliable, to make your product quality sensitive, you need to focus on the process. Then we have seen the components of control chart, that is data, mean, is the average of the data, the lower control limit, upper control limit, and the event log. That things we have seen. Then we have seen types of data, how you are going to, there are attribute type of data, variable type of data, because on the control chart you are going to plot the data. So control charts are categorized based on the type of data, that is variable data and the attribute data. Then there are various we learned how to calculate the mean, median, variance and standard deviation, and we have seen yesterday that difference between the control limits and specification limits. So now coming to steps involved in the SPC. So how you are going to carry out the SPC? It is not just like you wake up and go and start plotting your data or start making the control charts. No. Okay. You need to follow certain steps. What are the steps? It is basically identify the process to be monitored or improved. What you need to do? Identify which process you want to monitor, which process you want to improve. It's an improvement tool. By statistical process control, you want to improve your processes. So identify whether it's a heat treatment process, whether it's a punching process, whether it is the press shop, machining process, whatever is the process, identify that. Then you need to determine what parameter you are going to monitor in that particular process. वो जो प्रोसेस है उसमें आप कौन सा पैरामीटर मॉनिटर करना चाहते हो, because for every parameter you need to prepare a separate control chart. So in a heat treatment process, if you want to monitor the temperature, or you want to monitor the time, are you monitor to do you want to monitor the hardness, what are the parameters you want to monitor, you need to decide that. Then determine the measurement method for collecting the data. How you are going to measure the data, what kind of measurement system you are going to utilize. Is it a thermocouple, the indicator, vernier, screw gauge, micrometer, what instrument, the torque wrench, what kind of measurement system you are going to use. Digital torque meter, okay, refractometer, whatever the things you want to utilize, you need to determine that. And before going to the next step, you need to perform the GRR, that is gauge repeatability and reproducibility, because your control chart, on the control chart you are going to plot what? Data. Now you need to ensure that whatever the data we are getting is reliable and is correct. Whatever the data you are getting is reliable and correct, you can rely upon. So for that you should know that the measurement system what you are using is capable of doing that. Otherwise, if the data is not properly captured or data is not reliable, what will happen? All your things of means it will not give you the true indication of your process performance. It will give you the wrong indication. Just imagine you are driving a vehicle, you have a fuel indicator. Okay, you have a fuel indicator. Now just imagine this fuel indicator is giving you wrong data. Okay, so this is a empty, but it will show you here. Instead of showing here, it gives you the wrong data and it starts showing you here, but actually it is near to the empty. What will happen? What will happen? क्या होगा अगर इस तरह से वो डेटा आपको दिखाएगा तो?
Wrong indication आएगा.
हाँ, wrong
And
indication. Pawan, my voice is low. Okay, everybody is facing the same issue about the voice.
interrupt हो रहा है.
Okay, just a minute. Okay, just now check, है ना? There is nothing wrong, but still I have made some changes. Okay, so अगर इंडिकेशन रॉन्ग है, अगर इंडिकेशन रॉन्ग है इस तरह से, तो क्या होगा? एक्चुअली एम्प्टी है बट आपको दिखा रहा है फुल, तो थोड़ी देर बाद what will happen? Your vehicle will stop.
Yes.
है ना? So it means you cannot rely on the
Yes.
data. But if you start measuring your control chart, if you are monitoring the level of the vehicle fuel, you will keep on plotting that yes, you have the fuel. But actually, what will happen? Actually, it is empty, and your vehicle will stop. So data reliability is very important. Same way, if your alarm clock or your mobile starts showing you the wrong time, what will happen? All your you will not reach on time. You may think that yes, you are reaching on time, but actually you are not reaching on time because your measurement instrument is showing you the wrong data. That's why before moving to the next step, it is very important to check whether the measurement instrument that you are using is showing you the correct data. Is the data reliable? Pawan and everybody, now voice is clear? Voice is okay? Okay. So any in between, if you feel any issue in the voice or something, let me know. Okay. So basically, that's why you need to perform the GRR, and this MSA, basically measurement system analysis, is one of the core tool of IITF. You know, that is covered in the IITF training, and we have the training on the basics of or awareness of the IITF core tool. So one of the core tool of like APQP, PPAP, MSA, SPC, and FMEA, and control plan also. So it is one of the core tool. In that, detailed study is there, but basically you need to understand, you need to carry out the GRR. Normally, if the GRR is below 10%, it is 10, not 16. If the GRR is below 10%, your system is acceptable. Your measurement system is acceptable. It shows that yes, your measurement system is capable of reproducing the results and repeating the results. So you can rely upon the results. If it is between 10 to 30% GRR, after so many calculation it needs to be carried out, there is a proper methodology you need to follow. If it is between 10 to 30%, it is conditionally acceptable. Also, you need to get yes, there was some interruption. Now I hope it is clear to you. There was some interruption in the network. Am I audible to you people now? Can somebody please confirm that my voice is audible now?
It was not audible.
Yes. Okay. So depending on the measurement system, you may need to take the waiver from the customer if it is between 10 to 30%. And if the GRR is above 30%, you cannot use that measurement system. It means you cannot go to the next step of carrying out the SPC. You cannot carry out the SPC. So GRR is important. So GRR study is important step in carrying out the SPC. So once you perform the GRR, it is in the acceptable limit, you need to go to the next step. Now, here you will develop the subgroup strategy and sampling plan. Means, are you going to take the 100% data, or you are going to take one reading every 1 hour? Now, what is happening? Sorry, it is getting interrupted. Again, voice was got interrupted. I don't know why it is happening. Okay, so after that, you need to develop the subgroup strategy and sampling plan. Means, are you going to select the data every 1 hour? Are you going to take 5 readings every 1 hour? Are you going to take 5 samples from 1000 sample, 5 samples from 150 sample? What is your subgroup strategy and sampling plan? How many sample in how much time? So, yeah, sorry, there was some connection issue happening in the network. Now, am I audible to you people? I hope now I am audible to you. Yeah, yeah. So now, after we know that yes, our GRR is okay, GRR is okay, what we are going to do? We are going to plan the subgroup strategy. Means how many samples, how many times we are going to collect, and then we start collecting the data. When we collect the data, we have to ensure that it captures all the variation present within that particular process. It is not that when you start collecting the data, you are just collecting for say one shift 8 hours. So that will not give you the true indication of the process variation. You cannot capture. Okay, like when you want to plot the control chart for your arrival in the office, you need to take at least 3 weeks of data. That will give you the total variation present. Otherwise, what will happen if you take only 6 days data, it may give you the wrong indication of the control limits. That's why you need to collect a data for a significant period of time. Okay, and then you plot the initial control chart. You plot the initial control chart. How you going to plot the initial control chart? By calculating the control limits. Now, how to calculate the control limits? We will show you for each and every control chart. The control limit calculations are different. So you need to calculate the control limits depending on what kind of control chart you are going to prepare, and then you start plotting the initial control chart. So for example, if you have collected 25 data, you calculated the control limit and you plot the control data. You plot your initial data. Now once you plot the initial control chart, what you are going to do, you need to check, is process controlled? Because initial control chart, the purpose is to check whether the process is in control or not. So how you are going to check? How you will find out whether process is in control or not from the initial control chart? कैसे पता करोगे आप? How you will come to know whether process is control, whether process is in a state of statistical control? Yes, people, how you come to know that yes, process is in a state of statistical control? I will wait for your answers. Very important, huh? Yes, Mr. Praveen.
The values are in a control limit, sir. It's
Yeah.
in stable line.
Again, we are making mistake. Huh? If all data is within control limit, then it is in control. So basically, when you calculate the control limits from the data, normally it will come all within the control limits. So that doesn't mean process is in a state of statistical control. We have shown you that there are how many types of pattern for special cause when we will say that process is in a state of statistical control. Yes, Suyog, you want to say something?
Standard deviation is less in system than process in control.
How can standard deviation is less than 15? Standard deviation will depend on the type of data. If you are measuring temperature of 1000 degrees centigrade, your standard deviation will be very high. And if you are measuring say data of say 10,
I mean to say that variation is less in system, then it could be
now tell me
control.
how we have seen in the first day which process you will call a stable process or a process of statistically stable process. Yes, Pawan has answered it partially, that special cause is not present. Okay, it means if the special cause is not present in this one, your process is stable, its process is controlled. Now how you will come to know whether there is a special cause present or not? How you will come to know? आपको कैसे पता चलेगा कि वहां पे स्पेशल कॉज नहीं है? किसके साथ कंपेयर करोगे आप? क्या चेक करोगे इसमें? व्हाट यू आर गोइंग टू चेक इन दिस कंट्रोल चार्ट, जिससे आपको पता चलेगा कि यस देयर इज नो स्पेशल कॉज प्रेजेंट?
So if the trend in common causes, it will be in control, right?
If there are only common causes, then it is in control. If there are any special causes, it means the process is not in a state of statistical control. Process is not predictable. When there is a special cause present, there will be no, it will not be predictable. आप उसको predict नहीं कर सकते हो.
It is not in
हाँ, yes.
that time not in control.
हाँ, but how you
If it is a special cause, that is not in the control.
Yeah, so how you are going to find out that special cause? How you will find out whether the special cause is present in this trend or not?
The value is if the trend chart is predictable cause, I mean an up and down, it will be easily identified the cause. If the gradually increase or decrease, it will be a special cause.
Yeah. For example, now you tell me. This control chart is going like this one. Now, is there any special cause present? In this chart, any special cause present?
Yes.
Huh.
Yes, sir.
Which special cause is present now here? We have seen on the very first day, on the second day also I have repeated that. That is very important. There are how many types of special cause patterns? There are special cause patterns or not? 8, yes. So you simply say that yes, you will identify or you will try to find out whether there is any special cause present here or not. You will then, the control chart you need to divide into the 3 zones, the green, the yellow and the red zone on both sides, and then you will compare it with the special cause patterns. 8 type of special cause patterns are there. You will compare with it, and if you find out any of that pattern here, it means special cause is present. It means special cause is present. Okay, so you need to compare it with that chart. Let me bring that. Okay, give me a minute. Let us refresh. Somebody please confirm that screen is visible. Yeah. So what you need to do when you plot the initial control chart, okay, when you plot the initial control chart, you need to compare it with these criteria. You need to find out whether if any of the point is out of the control limit, it means there is a special cause. Okay, if any of the point is out of the control limit, it means there is a special cause present. If there are alternate 7 points in a row, up, down, any zone, whether it's in the green zone, whether it's in the yellow zone, on the same side of the center line, if there is a up and down 7 point continuous, it means there is a special cause. You need to identify that. What is that special cause? If 6 points in a row continuously increasing or decreasing, there is a special cause. So you need to compare. This is very important slide. Okay, and this is as per given in the AIG SPC manual. These 8 points are given in the AIG SPC manual. Based on that, I have prepared this representation. If you divide it into the 3 zones, green, yellow and red, if you find out 2 points are there in the red zone, out of the 3 points, 2 are in the red zone, it means there is a special cause present. It is not out of control limit. So remove it from your mindset that anything out of control limit means there is a special cause. No, out of control limit, special cause is only one of the pattern. There are rest of the 7 patterns also. Even if your process is running within the 1 sigma from the center line, still there will be a special cause present. If there are continuous 15 points in a row in the green zone, continuous 15 point on one side of the center line, it is not crossing, you are running here only continuously, it means there is a special cause. There is a special cause, and you need to identify. Yes, if it is intentionally done, it is not impacting your process, you may take, you may not take the action. It's up to you. It needs to be checked. So it means if it is the case, then you need to recalculate the control limit again. You will find out that your center line will come here, your special cause will vanish. Got it? So identifying the special cause pattern is very, very important. I hope everybody is clear. If not clear, please ask the question. Suyog, you have raised the hand for screen visible, or you have some question? Okay. So now if anyone has any doubt or question on this, please ask me. Any doubt you people can ask. I don't want you people to be in a confusion. What is this special cause? Why we are giving so much focus on the special cause? Almost for one day, first day we have discussed completely the special cause and common causes. Why? Because control chart, it is very much initially required. The control chart or your monitoring of the process will not start unless and until your process is in a state of statistical control, statistically stable, and the process which has a
सर
special. Yes.
क्वेश्चन था वो जो 15 पॉइंट इन एक ही जोन में थे, वो भी विद इन लिमिट थे. अगर प्रोसेस इन अ लिमिट है एंड हाँ
Yes, yes.
सेवेंथ वन,
Yeah.
तो इसमें स्पेशल कॉज है, बट अगर इन कंट्रोल है तो इज दैट मैटर?
How you know that it is in control? If there is a special cause, your process is not predictable. You don't know what will happen next.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, that is why. That's the very good thing you people should know, that within control limit doesn't mean you are in control. You are in control, okay, only when there is no special cause present. Now, why
Okay.
it is happening? For example, you are reaching every day within on the lower side of this one, okay. So there might be a special cause that your watch or your alarm clock, whatever it may be, is showing wrong timing. That's why you are reaching before wrong time, but you are reaching before. It means there is a problem in the alarm clock or problem in the watch, problem in the mobile timing. Got it? It means it is not predictable. What will happen? Today it is showing you are reaching early. Tomorrow it may happen that okay, you will go out of control limit, out of specification limit. When there is a special cause present, it can
But
happen.
sir, if it is suppose one dimension is okay on that limit and it continuously came in a same range, then it okay, or sometime we kept it intentionally to meet our assembly requirements or something.
Yeah, you will see that, okay, when you plot the control chart, you will have the data. For example, if you have continuously this kind of data, okay, your control limit will not there, your center line will shift here, na? If you have this kind of data, actually your control limit will be here, center line will be here. We are talking that okay, you prepared a control chart based on your process variation, and then after that when you start monitoring the control chart, there you find out that yes, continuously data is coming here, continuously data is coming, means there is something wrong. You need to find out that. If you have made it intentionally, it means there is a time to recalculate the control limits. Then you need to recalculate the control limit. If you have improved your process, you have made some changes in the process, you need to recalculate the control limit. Your control limit will change then. Got it? Okay. So you need to make it practically first, means try to make the control chart, identify it, and try to make the control chart first. Practically do it. This is a theoretical thing. Now you need to implement it on the shop floor practically. Start monitoring the trend and you will get much more insight into process. आपको आपके process के बारे में बहुत कुछ चीजें पता चलेगी, and you will see a lot of improvement in the process itself. And it is not about the quality only. There is an impact on the cost also. If you are running a process not in the center of the specification limit, what you have specified, you are running somewhere here and there, what will happen? It will impact your cost also. Cost of consumables may increase. Cost of tooling may increase. That's why it is very much important. Apart from the quality, it impacts the cost also. So try to plot the graph. You will get a lot of insight. Share with us. If you have any doubt, you can share with us that yes, we will guide you. Yes, how to identify the causes. What has happened? What has gone wrong? Whether it has been intentional, whether it has not been intentional. Like you see, this is your control limit, okay, on the road. You are continuously driving. Normally you are driving like this one, okay, and based on that we have calculated this control limit. This is your center line, and now suddenly you start driving here continuously so many points on this one, or continuously increasing. You are still in the control, but there is a special cause why you are going continuously here on this side. Is it because you are feeling tired? Is it because you are feeling dizzy? Is it because your windshield, there is some, it is not properly cleaned, that's why you are not getting the proper view of the road? What it can be, any reason. You need to find out that reason and avoid the reason, so that again you start operating normally. You may say that, sir, I am driving here intentionally, okay, you are driving here intentionally, but if you are driving here intentionally, the chances will be more to go out of control and out of your specification limits. That you need to see. You are in control, but you may not be capable. Both the things you need to focus. Okay, so now you need to find out, you need to ask a question whether your process is controlled or not. If the process is not controlled, you need to identify the special causes and eliminate these special causes. Assignable causes means special causes, okay. Don't get confused that, okay, here you are identifying the special cause and here you are eliminating the assignable cause. So assignable cause and the special cause is one and the same. So identify it and eliminate it. Now again collect the data. When you identify the special cause, remove it, you need to again collect the data. It is not that removing the data from the control chart, it is basically removing that particular special cause, again collect the data, again plot the initial chart, again ask the question, is the process controlled? If no, again similar. If yes, now start monitoring the process, keep plotting the data on your graph paper, keep monitoring the trends, keep taking the action, writing the event log wherever you are taking the actions, and try to bring the process within the control, keep it within the control, try to make it more narrow. The dispersion should be as less as possible, so that your standard deviation is less and your capability is increased. Okay, any doubt in the steps involved in the SPC? You people have any doubt on the steps involved in the SPC? Okay, so we are going to the next then, types of control chart. As we have told you that based on the data, what kind of data you are using, the control charts are, different control charts are used, like variable type data and attribute type data. So for variable type data, the largely used, there are many more also, but largely used control charts are, you can say, IMR chart, XMR chart, that is individual moving range chart, also known as Shewhart charts, Shewhart individuals control chart. Then there is the X bar R chart, averages range chart, and then there is the X bar S chart, averages standard deviation chart. For the attribute type of data, there is NP chart and P chart. These are basically used for the defectives, and C chart and U chart are used for the defects. Now what is this defectives and the defect? When we go to these charts tomorrow, we will explain you in detail that what is defectives and what is defect. What is the difference between the defectives and the defect? Defectives is basically non-conforming product, accept or reject. And defect is basically the kind of defect. There might be a scratch on the car. You may reject, you may not reject that one. So certain defect may not lead to the rejection. For example, you are making a JCB and there is a small scratch on the panel. Are you going to reject that one? Are you going to reject this completely, that JCB unit? No, है ना? But if there is a noise from the engine, there is a lot of vibration, are you going to reject it? है ना? Yeah. So there are certain defects which lead to the rejection, but there are certain defects which may not lead to the rejection. But it is important to monitor such defects which are not resulting into the rejection also. So all kind of defects should be monitored and the defective should also be monitored. For example, in your plant yesterday, for example, 70 units of JCB has been manufactured. I am just taking the hypothetical data. 70 units of the earth movers or JCBs has been manufactured. None is rejected. Does that mean there were no defects found? क्या आप बोल सकते हो कि कल कुछ भी डिफेक्ट नहीं मिली उसके अंदर? रिजेक्शन नहीं हुआ है. Okay, so on the graph when you plot this NP and P chart you will find 0. But डिफेक्ट थे या नहीं थे? कुछ काइंड से डिफेक्ट हो सकते हैं. कभी लूज होज हो सकता है, आपने रेक्टिफाई कर दिया, दैट इज डिफरेंट थिंग. हो सकता है उसके अंदर लूज आपका होज हो, उसके अंदर कहीं पे ऑयल लीकेज हो, कहीं पे कुछ स्क्रैच हो, कहीं पे कुछ लूज नट हो. दैट माइट नॉट हैव रिजल्टेड इनटू द रिजेक्शन, बट डिफेक्ट तो था, आपने उसको रेक्टिफाई कर दिया. So it is very important to monitor the defective, that is rejection level, as well as your defects. What kind of defects are there? Because if we do not focus on these small defects, which is today it is not resulting into the rejection, but if it aggravates, it may lead to the rejection. Secondly, such kind of defects will reduce your customer satisfaction also. People may notice, may not notice, but if this defects increases, lot of scratches are there, your customer will definitely not happy. Scratches on the panel is not going to impact the, say, performance of the vehicle directly, okay, but that doesn't mean you are going to accept that one. You will not accept at all. As a customer, if you go to buy a vehicle, if there is a small dent, you know it is not going to impact your say for example the drivability or your comfort. It is not going to impact, but you will not accept. Why you should accept? You are paying for a good car, why you should accept a car with a scratch? So that's why it is important for the organization to keep on monitoring the defects also, and for that you need to utilize C and U chart. What is the difference between NP and P, and what is the difference between C and U? Both are used for the defects, these are used for the defectives, but there is a difference. वो जब हम we will tomorrow go through this kind of chart, we will elaborate in detail. Okay, so now let us move to the IMR chart or XMR chart. Individual moving range chart used extensively in the industries. It is a most common and simple chart, and it is not a single chart, it's a combination chart. It is plotted separately because data will be separate, range data will be separate, individual data point will be separate, but it is plotted in combination. So you will have to plot it on the same graph paper or two different graph paper, but on one, the top there will be individual data, and on the bottom you will have the range data of that individual readings. So this data continuously means you need to plot it continuously. Based on the data you will get the range, and you will monitor both the things. You will monitor the individual data, you will monitor the range also. Okay, you are going to monitor the range also and see, check the patterns where you can take certain actions, where you need to correct your process, कहाँ पे आपको steering सही करना है ताकि आपकी गाड़ी right path पे चले. Now, as I told you, on the control chart, what you have the data. ओके, कंट्रोल चार्ट पे क्या होता है? डेटा होता है. एंड हियर यू विल हैव द डेटा from the process and you need to calculate the range also. The range will be calculated from the data. How to calculate? I will tell you. Then you need average. So you will calculate the average of the data and average of the range also. Now you require LCL and UCL. So for LCL and UCL, I request you people to please write this formula. Okay, I am going to show you this again. But for your benefit, please write these formulas because you need to calculate. For the I chart, the LCL and UCL will be calculated from X bar minus 3 into R bar by D2. Okay, so what is this X bar? X bar means averages of the data. Wherever there is a bar, it means average. Average of what? Average of X. X means individual data. So X bar, average of the data, उसमें से आप माइनस करोगे 3 into R bar by D2, that is 3 into standard deviation. What you will minus? 3 into standard deviation. So this will be R bar by D2. R bar कहाँ से आएगा? R bar means averages of the range. So whatever the range you have calculated, the average of that range. And the D2 value will be, sample means your subgroup basically, of which data you are going to take the range. So you are calculating the range of 2 data. Individual data you are going to calculate the range. 1 and 2 iska range, 2 and 3 iska range. It means the sample size will be 2 and the D2 value will be 1.128. Please note it down somewhere on the piece of paper. Please note it down. The D2 value will be 1.128 for the example which we are going to study in the Excel sheet. And for the UCL, same, only thing the sign changes here to plus. ये सिर्फ plus हो जाएगा, है ना? X bar minus 3 into R bar by D2 और UCL के लिए X bar plus 3 into R bar by D2. It means अगर आपने R bar by D2 निकाल लिया, X bar निकाल लिया, so you will be able to calculate LCL and UCL. So this is for the individual charts. Okay, and for the range chart, that is moving range chart, you can say moving range also, the LCL will be 0 and UCL will be D4 MR bar, or you can say D4 R bar. It is moving range bar, or you can say D4 R bar. R bar आपने यहाँ पर निकाल ही लिया है. You have calculated the R bar here. You calculated the R bar here, and D4 value will be 3.268 because you are taking the range of 2 data. You are calculating the range of individual data, means the range of these two, range of these two, range of these two. When we go to the Excel, you will come to know. So that's why you are taking here 2. Don't go sample size means the number of data you are selecting. No, it is basically the subgroup. It is a subgroup of 2 you can consider. Any confusion here, any clarification you required? I hope you people have written this formula, because writing will enhance your understanding also. If everybody is okay, we will go to the Excel sheet. Okay, so I hope there are no questions, so I am moving to the Excel sheet now. Please confirm that Excel sheet is visible to you people. Okay. Now,
Yes, sir.
Yeah, now you have collected this data. Just think that, okay, you have collected this data. This is the historical data you have collected across 3 or 4 shifts. You got total 25 number of data here. We have taken 25 number of data for initial calculation of the control limits. Okay, for initial calculation of the control limits. the first thing is that you have the data now. Data है आपके पास. What you require now for making the control charts? Control charts के लिए हमको क्या क्या चाहिए? Tell me. One is data. Okay, so data will be of individual and data for range होना चाहिए. What else you should have? What will be there on the control chart? Control chart पे क्या होता है और? What are the components of control chart? What will be there on the control chart? Tell me. UCL, LCL and बस निकल जाएगा. और anything else you want? Mean है ना? You require the mean also. Okay, so let us start. So mean of what? Mean of again individual and range. दोनों का mean होना, because we want to calculate two charts. So now first we take the average of the data. So average means average of this 25 data. So I have calculated it here, X bar. So AVERAGE, average of entire data. So it is 100.36. So what I will do, I will just put equals to sign and I will drag it. Now, this is your 100.36 is the average. Now, what is the range? What is the moving range? How you calculate the range now? Range between the two values. I want range between the two values. So from where it will start? Will it start from here? Will it start from here? When you know that, okay, what is the range of the data? How far two data are from each other? That is range. है ना? दो डाटा के बीच का रेंज क्या है? फॉर एग्जाम्पल आई एम जस्ट
range means what sir? I mean limit, I mean tolerance, right?
No. Range means range of the data. How far the datas are located from each other. For example, just I am putting one graph, small graph here. है ना? Now what is the range of the data? One data is here, another is here. So what is the difference between these two? That is the range. Range of the data. So what is the range of these two data? Okay. Then what is the range of this data and this data? This is second. Then what is the range of these 2 points? This is the third one. Then what is the range of these 2 points? Fourth one. So range between individual data, that is moving range we are saying. Is it clear?
Okay sir.
Hai. So range means now when you start getting the range from the first point, can you get the range? Can you get the range here? Or you can start getting range from here, because from here there is nothing range. Na? You need 2 points to compare. So how far these 2 points are located from each other? So it is 1.2 points away from each other. Then next, the difference between these 2 points. So what is the difference between these 2 points? Again, this one minus this one. So you need to drag it. Now you see there are certain minus points also. And if we take the average of this one, what will happen? They will nullify each other. And that is not the correct thing. Range is the absolute value. It is not like negative or positive range we are talking about here. It is basically how far these 2 points are located from each other. Negative or positively doesn't matter. That's why what you need to take absolute value of these things while taking the मूविंग एवरेज, मूविंग रेंज एवरेज. ओके, आपको इसका रेंज का एवरेज निकालना है. रेंज की वैल्यूज आपको पता होना, तो यू कैनॉट हैव नेगेटिव रेंज. Okay, so how you are going to convert it into the positive, all positive things? You need to utilize a formula ABS, which converts this value to the absolute things, means without any sign. So you drag it, absolute, nothing will change, only 2.60 becomes 2.6. Not for a confusion, this negative value becomes absolute value, it has no sign. Okay, we are just checking, okay, how far these 2 points are, how far these 2 points are located. These 2 points are located at 1.2 units away, these are 1.1 units away, these 2 points are 0.3 units away, these two are 0.1 units away, because that is also important. Okay, why it is important to see this one range? Because if we just monitor the average value, if we monitor just the average value, the average of points lying here is also same, and the average of these 2 points is also same. But these two are located far away, these two are located near to each other, and that is how you will get the insights about the data. Because you plot the average also, okay, you calculate the average basically. So when you get the range data, you will know that yes, there is a large dispersion, large variation from point to point is happening. When you monitor the range data, there you will find on the range graph a lot of variation is there. The range is big, it means variation is there, big variation is there. So you can start taking certain action based on that also. So once you calculate the range, you need to calculate the what? Range bar, means average of the ranges, average of the range. So now you have the data, this is the individual data and this is the range data. This you need to plot on the graph. Then you want the mean, the individual mean and the range mean. This is also you have. Okay. And now you need to calculate, you have the data, you have the average, now you need to calculate the LCL and UCL. Okay, you need to calculate the LCL and UCL, and you have the formulas. I told you people to note down the formulas. I hope everybody has noted down. Anybody is there who didn't note it down the formula, please let me know so that I can bring that formula here. Now if everybody has noted down, please calculate the LCL and UCL for this. Formulas you know, X bar for LCL and UCL of range chart and LCL and UCL of, this is the LCL and UCL of range chart, LCL and UCL of your individual chart. Two LCL and UCL will come. So please tell me what is the LCL and UCL. Please calculate. And for your peoples, okay, I am bringing these formulas also and bringing this table also here. So you have the formula, right? You have the formula, you have the range, you have the averages, right? Now calculate and let me know. So what will be the LCL and UCL for individual data? This is for individual and this is for your range. Once you calculate, put it in your chat box. I will write what answers I got from the people so far, है ना? So Mr. Praveen 98.8, Mr. Suraj, I will just insert here. है ना? So Mr. Praveen say 98.8 as LCL. Mr. Suraj say 97.88. Okay. And Mr. Praveen say UCL as 103.7. Mr. Suraj says 102.42. Other also please calculate. I need everybody to calculate. I hope everybody is calculating. Suyog.
Please display those standard chart table of content D2
Okay.
and D4.
Yeah. You need to just take this, है ना? D2 value is 1.128, D4 value is 3.268.
सर यहाँ पर सैंपल साइज तो आपने पहले बताया नहीं था एक्चुअली।
बताया मैंने आपको, सैंपल साइज इज 2. I told you.
और सर ये सैंपल साइज 2 है लेकिन रीडिंग सब में 25 है।
It is not sample size. It is not sample size. When we before coming to here, I told you that it is basically the number of data, means range किसका ले रहे हैं आप? How many points you are taking the range? You are taking the range of 2. So it is basically a subgroup, you can say. Subgroup of 2.
Okay.
है ना? Don't go for the sample of 25. है ना? That's why I told you take the D2 value of 1.128 and D4 of 3.268. So it is basically how many samples you are calculating the range between the two. And when we move to the other type of chart, that is averages range and averages standard deviation, you will come to know that okay, we are taking higher subgroup. Maybe 5 sample का range निकालेंगे हम, maybe 5 reading का range निकालेंगे, उसको plot करते हैं. So that time your subgroup size becomes 5, subgroup size becomes 7, subgroup size becomes 10, whatever it may be, है ना? But here you consider this as a subgroup size, not your number of sample. Number of samples से constant depend नहीं करते. Sample constant will depend on your subgroup size. Okay. Mr. Suyog says 102.83. And for the range chart, Mr. Praveen has calculated 3.03 as UCL. Okay, quickly other people also. I will wait for 2 more minutes, okay, and then we will start calculating because we have to cover other topic also. Okay, so I think enough answers are there. Other people also please calculate and verify. We start calculating on the Excel sheet now. Please focus on the Excel sheet, everybody. We are starting to calculate it and plotting the data. So basically, you need to calculate the R bar and R bar by D2. Okay. So for individual charts, I will calculate the LCL and UCL here. The LCL and UCL will be X bar. LCL will be X bar, that is 100.36 minus R3 into R bar by D2. So it is 3 into R bar. What is R bar? 0.93. And what is the value of D2? The value of D2 is 1.128. 1.128. So you get the value of 97.88. 97.88 is the right answer. And for the UCL, what you need to do? Again, X bar plus 3 into R bar by D2, that is 1.128. So 102.84. Or here Suyog has calculated 83, that is also okay, because instead of this, if I take M bar as a 0.93, you might not be seeing the whole range. So 102.83 is also okay. Here also I will take 0.93 because 97.89, 97.88 is the correct answer. Like Suyog has taken 93 absolute value. Okay, you got 97.89, 102.83. It is correct. Mr. Praveen, please check your calculation where you have made a mistake. Here also Suraj, what mistake you did, why it came 102.42. 97.88 is acceptable. Why this has come here? And Mr. Praveen, also your data. What wrong calculation you did, where the mistake has happened, please check. Now coming to the range chart. Okay, individual moving range or range chart. How you are going to calculate? The LCL will be 0 and UCL is D4 MR bar. What is the value of D4? The value of D4 is 3.268. So 3.268 into MR bar. Let me take 0.93. 3.04 is the answer. So 3.04 is the UCL and this is the LCL. So what we do now? We have to plot the chart, and for that we require the data, the average line, the moving range data, the LCL and the UCL. Okay. Yeah, Suyog also says 3.03. It will actually, for calculation is coming 3.03, it might have come 3.039. So you people have taken 3.03 by removing all these things. But anyway, when you are making, you must have got value of this 3.039. So when you convert it to the, like normally how we convert when we may remove the decimal places, we need to convert to the next step. That is, if 5.05 and above is there, then you need to go to the next digit. So it will be 3.04. Mr. Praveen, just check your calculation where you made the mistake here. Why it is coming 98.8 and 103.7. Mr. Praveen, your voice is not audible. I think your audio is unmuted, but you are not audible. You want to say something? Else, please mute yourself. Any doubt in this calculation, LCL and UCL? Now, how you are going to plot it? It's a simple graph, line graph. Now, what you do, all this 25 LCL, 25 times you write here, UCL you write here. Okay, LCL of the range chart, UCL of the range chart. Now, you make a simple chart. This is your data. You select the data. And this is your LCL and UCL. This also you select. And the average, this is your average. Now you go to the insert, go to the chart type, go to this. So this is your chart for the individuals. Yes, Mr. Praveen, you have any question? Yeah, Mr. Praveen, your voice is not audible. You have any question?
So I couldn't connect actually.
Connect to? You are not audible. You are not audible. I can see you are logged with two different IDs, I think. Miss, I can see two of you there and your voice is not audible. Can you please type? Can you please type in the chat box what you want to say? You are not audible. I cannot hear you. Anybody else is able to hear Mr. Praveen? Mr. Praveen, please write in the chat box. You are not audible at all to me. So this is a chart for individuals. Okay, or you can say X chart or I chart. And now you need to plot another chart, that is your range chart. Mr. Praveen, you are not audible and I think you are not audible at all. Please write in the chat box. And I can see almost 3 or 4 of your logins. So please write it in the chat box your queries. So this is how you make the chart. This is your LCL, this is your UCL, this is your average line, and this is your data. Okay, now you need to prepare another chart, that is range chart. But range chart में 25 points रहेंगे क्या? How many points will be there on the range chart? Will there be 24 points or 25 points? 24, क्योंकि रेंज कब निकलता है? जब 2 पॉइंट आपके पास आते हैं, तो 2 पॉइंट के बीच में एक रेंज, 2 पॉइंट के एक में रेंज, तो 25 पॉइंट से तो 25 रेंजेस मिलेंगे आपको. ओके, सो नाउ अगेन यू नीड टू मेक द रेंज चार्ट. रेंज चार्ट कैसे बनाएंगे? अगेन सिलेक्ट द रेंज डेटा. दिस इज योर रेंज डेटा. This is your data. Then you go to the LCL and UCL. This is your LCL. This is your UCL. And also you need to take the average. The average line is here and it is behind 0.9333. That is your average. Go to the insert, go to the graph line, prepare the graph. This is your range chart now. This is the range chart. So how it will look? your individual date chart, your individual chart here on the top and the range chart on the bottom, है ना? So basically you need to this range is basically for these 2 points, so it will start from here basically, है ना? Then this range correspond to this point. Now when you see the normal chart, you are not seeing anything abnormal here, but you see here why the range is high. You need to understand why the range is high, so you will find out the reason behind that. Jitna range kam hoga, it will be good for you. The lower range means lower variation. If your range is below this one, lower the range, it means your data points are much nearer to each other. Okay, that's how you keep on monitoring your individual chart and the range chart. Here you will see the pattern. कहीं pattern तो नहीं बन रहा है. For that you need to divide the data into different zones. है ना? You need to divide the data into different zones. How you do that? Now you need to plot it on the graph paper. You put it into the graph paper and now extend these control limits continuously, है ना? So what I will do, I will just get this chart onto the another sheet. है ना? This is, so what you do, you extend this chart on the piece of graph paper. This is your graph paper, piece of graph paper, and you keep an average line also same, है ना? You are not going to calculate the average of each and every data. Yes, Mr. Praveen, you have any question?
Sir, I couldn't able to view your screen, sir.
You are not able to view the screen.
Yes, sir.
Anybody else is having the same issue? Because all other people are able to see the screen, Mr. Praveen. What is happening now? I can see two of your logins here. I can see one Praveen Kumar as offline and another you are here. So I think there is certain thing. Maybe.
Sir,
Huh?
I tried. Yes, sir, I tried some. I have been tried, sir.
Okay.
Because I can be able to view your screen, so that I view once. Again, I log in.
तो
I actually shared your WhatsApp number.
Can you please
How
restart?
to view?
Can you please restart the system and do this? Because I think that there are two logins from your system now.
Okay, sir.
I can see that, okay, there are two names appearing. In between there were three names also. I think that might be clashing, I think, from your side.
Okay.
So could you please, you can shut it down, system, restart the system and yeah. And in between we will have a 2 minutes break by the time you join. Okay, anyhow, because it's 1.5, almost it is ending now. So you join in, you will get this in the video recording also, and if you have any doubt, I will clear it. So just log out and log in, means shut down your system and restart. That is the only thing possible. Okay. One more thing I can do, I am just pausing the screen and starting the screen. Is it visible to you now? Okay. So हम क्या करेंगे? You are going to continue plotting the data according to this one. You are not going to calculate the average on daily basis. No. Okay, you are not going to calculate the LCL and UCL on the daily basis. No, it is calculated already from the historical data. You will continue to use that. आप इसको use करते रहोगे, है ना? आपको इसको use करते 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 आगे जाना है, और इसके ऊपर प्लॉट करते रहिए. जहां पे आपको लगता है कि डेटा आउट ऑफ जा रहा है या कहीं पे कुछ सिग्नल मिल रहे हैं आपको, यू स्टार्ट टेकिंग द एक्शन, ब्रिंग इट क्लोजर टू योर दिस वन. सिमिलर वे फॉर द रेंजेस ऑल्सो, मॉनिटर दिस. तो ये आपको ग्राफ पेपर पे बनाना है. यू नीड टू प्रिपेयर इट ऑन द पीस ऑफ पेपर एंड स्टार्ट मॉनिटरिंग. ओके. Now it is visible, Mr. Praveen?
Yes, sir, visible.
Now still I can see two of you there, है ना? One is showing offline, one is showing this one. Maybe after the training I will share with you this one. Some issue from maybe from the system your side. So this graph you understand?
Okay.
है ना? The graph you understand how we prepare the graph?
Sir, not. Okay. Actually, the formula.
Yes.
UCL calculation. Yes, sir. After that, I couldn't able to view your screen, sir.
Okay. So, okay, just a minute. Let me change the screen. Oh, sorry.
Actually, I made a mistake for using the expert check. Sorry, expert value.
Yes.
So the value is
so basically, based on these values, we have prepared the chart. Then it's a simple bar chart. Okay, it's a some simple line chart.
Okay.
You have the data.
Okay.
You have the average value. You have the data. You have the LCL and UCL plotted here. We selected that and prepare this chart. And what you have to do on the piece of graph, or if you are monitoring it on the Excel sheet. Okay, you can monitor it on the Excel sheet also, but live data needs to be plotted and it needs to be digitally shown on the shop floor. That is one. Another one, you people can use the graph paper, the normal green color graph paper we have. So that graph paper, you plot this LCL and UCL, you plot the average line continuously, and then keep on plotting the data, individual data on live data you need to capture. Whenever you capture the data, you keep on plotting it against the control limit and keep on monitoring this live tool. Okay. Now, whenever we make any changes in the process, if you are taking certain steps to make your process more robust, make your process some mistake proofing you put there, or some control measure you put there, that time you again need to collect the data, you recalculate the data is already will be there, you need to just recalculate the control limits after say a period of 5 months, 6 months. Just recalculate the control limits and check whether you are having a similar control limit or more concise control limits, more contracted control limits, that you need to check. Okay, so now we will move to the presentation mode. So this is for IMR chart, very extensively used in the industry. Now there are other chart. What will happen if you do not plot individual data? If there is a large data collection, बहुत ज़्यादा data collect होता है. For example, you are making a control chart for your product. 1000 pieces बन रहे हैं हर घंटे में. Are you going to plot the data of 1000 pieces? Is it possible? Is it possible to plot the data of all 1000 pieces? Even you are not checking the 1000 pieces basically. Even if you are checking the 5 pieces, okay, out of 1000 you are checking the 5 pieces. Do you want to plot all the 5 data there every hour? Because it is representative of the entire batch, there is no point in plotting the 5 data or 10 data. Again, it will be a very hodgepodge and you will not be able to conclude anything. Like on the control chart, if you keep on plotting every hour 5 data, then 5 data. So every day there will be a lot and lot of data will be there. So you will not be able to find out any trends also. And as this data will be from that particular batch, it will be very near to each other. So there is no point in plotting the individual data. In such cases, the subgroups come into the picture. So what is the subgroup now? Let's understand the subgroup, because the next charts are basically for the subgroup data. So subgroup is basically, it is a group of unit that has been created under the same set of condition. For example, if you are collecting the data of any process, you know that okay, last 1 hour, whatever the process has been run, what data I am taking now is the representative of that 1 hour data. Or if you are making 75 parts, 100 parts every 5 minutes, and you know that all these 100 parts or 75 parts are from the same batch, it is having a almost similar characteristics. So what you will go, you will collect 5 samples out of that. Now that 5 samples that you collected every 5 minutes is basically a subgroup. You can term it as a subgroup. If you are noting down the machine speed 4 times every hour, you do not want, and you know that okay, it is not varying too much during that 1 hour, it means that 4 is basically a subgroup size for you. 4 data every 1 hour. Now for such cases, for the subgroup cases, what you will do, you are not going to plot all the data on the graph. You are calculating the range of the data from that one. Of all these 5 points or 10 points that you collected, you will take the averages of the subgroup. Averages of the subgroup, the average data of the subgroup, range of the subgroup, or in case the subgroup is more than 10, you are going to take the standard deviation of the subgroup and then you are going to plot it on the graph. Okay. And there you are going to use X bar R chart. Instead of individual data, you are going to plot the average of the subgroup and the range of the subgroup. So instead of plotting the range of 2 data, you are going to plot the range of the entire subgroup. Subgroup can be 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever it may be. Normally, how you are going to decide the size and frequency of subgroup? So initial studies, around 4 to 5 units per hour or per batch are taken as a subgroup. How you come to know that whatever the subgroup you have chosen is correct or not? So the difference, the range of the subgroup should be small. If the range is high, it means that you are not, the subgroup is not true representative of the condition during that particular time. For example, if you are saying that okay, you are driving, every 5 minutes you are taking the data of a driver's location, so this 5 data should be nearer to each other, then only you can say that this is a representative of that 5 minutes of driving. Next it may go here, so that conditions are different. This condition is different, again this condition is different. So for a different set of condition, different data will be collected. So your difference between the measurement should be less, and based on that you will decide whether you are going to collect the data 5 samples every 100 samples or 5 samples every 50 samples. That depends on what variation you are to get between the sample to sample. If the variation is too much, it means your subgroup size selection is not good. The difference between the measurements within the same subgroup needs to be a small. You need to collect the data of subgroups to capture the total variation. Means it is not just 1 hour or 2 hours data, 5 subgroups, 10 subgroups you select. You need to collect the data of so many subgroups. It indicates the total variation within your process. Okay. Now, based on that subgroup, if the subgroup is between 2 to 10, up to 10, if the subgroup value is up to 10, you are going to use a X bar R chart. Now, what chart you are going to use? X bar R chart. That is called X bar range chart. And this is the N. N means not sample. Okay, it is a subgroup size. N means the subgroup size. So if it is subgroup size is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you are going to use these different kind of charts, different kinds of your constants. Okay, the different kinds of constants you are going to utilize. The X bar R chart, the earlier one was X R chart, moving range chart, individual. Here is the X bar. It means you are plotting the averages, and in the formula you can see here it's the X double bar. What is X double bar means? What is X double bar? What is X bar? X bar is, yes people, tell me what is X bar?
What's the actually? I mean, X double bar means double the value, or it's around, right?
No. X bar means averages of the individual value. Averages of the individual value. And what then S double bar means?
Okay.
Averages of the average.
Every, okay.
Na, averages of the average. When we go to the Excel sheet, you people will come to know. So X bar means wherever in the statistics you see the bar, it is average. R bar means average of the range data. Individual data of range, uska average, that is R bar. X is the individual data. X bar means average of that individual data. In the last chart we have seen, you have the 25 individual data. We have taken the average of that one. It becomes X bar. From that 25, you got the range data, 24 range data. You take the average of that range. It becomes range bar, R bar. Sorry. So in the X bar R chart, it is a chart of not individuals. You are plotting the average. So every subgroup data you will get the average that you are going to plot. These are the formulas for calculating the LCL and UCL of the X bar R chart. We will quickly go to the Excel sheet. I will just explain the basics today. Tomorrow we will plot the X bar R chart on the Excel sheet. Okay. Today we'll just show you how the data will be there in the X bar R chart. How the data is located. So this is X bar R chart. So here what you do, for example, you have taken 4 samples out of 75 samples produced. Mr. Praveen, please mute yourself. I hope Excel sheet is visible to you people. Excel sheet is visible to you people? Okay, thank you. So for example, you have taken the 4 readings every 1 hour, or 4 readings from every 75 parts produced, 4 readings or 4 samples from every 10 for every 150 samples produced. So your subgroup size is how much? What is the subgroup size here? What is the subgroup size? 4. Very good. So your subgroup size is 4. And these are the number of subgroups. So don't go by the number of subgroups. We have to go by what is the subgroup size. All your constants there are depending on the number of subgroups. Okay, subgroup size, not number of subgroups, subgroup size. Here you got the data of 60.5, another sample 60.7, another 62.2, and then 60.1. So now you need to calculate the average of the subgroup, means average of this data. Average of this 4 data कैसे आएगा? What is the average of this data? You are not going to plot this 4 data on the control chart. You are going to plot what? क्या plot करोगे आप? What you are going to plot?
Average.
Average. That's why it is called X bar R graph. Average is range chart. So you are going to calculate the average of individual subgroups. ये 4 का जो डेटा है ना, इसका आप एवरेज लोगे. You will calculate the average here. इनका एवरेज यहाँ पर. And you calculate the range. A range, how you come to know what is the range? How you calculate the range of subgroup? What is the range of this data? How you will calculate the range? Yes, people. What would be the range?
Two reading.
Difference between two readings? But
yes.
Then there are 4 readings. The 4 readings you will get
Yes.
feed data, but I need only one data. I need range of the data. Range of these 4 data. What will be the range of these 4 data? What is the range of these 4 data? This 4 data is like this. What is the range? Yes. What is the range of this data? Is it not the minimum value and the maximum value? This is the range. For calculating the range, you need to select what is the minimum value in the set of data, what is the maximum value. The difference between these two will be your range. Okay, not the continuous 2 value.
62.2, right?
Yeah, so here maximum value is
62.2 minus 60.1.
Yeah, so your range is become 2.1. Then similarly, what will be the range here? What is the range here for the another subgroup? It will be the difference. What is the minimum value? This is the minimum value. What is the maximum value? This is the maximum value. The difference between these two is the range of the data in this subgroup. So what is the range in the second case? What minus what? Maximum value is 62.3. Minimum value is 60.3. The difference between these two is 2. Is the range of the subgroup. Yes.
The subgroup is standard. Subgroup is standard or whatever it may be.
No. Subgroup you need to select.
Means, subgroups.
Subgroup
Yes, sir. If you select subgroup is standard,
you can select. It's up to you, your organization. And for selecting the subgroup, you need to see that it should be a true representative of the process condition or the samples or the production condition at that particular period of time. For example, when you select only 7, why you select only 5 samples out of 75 samples produced? Because you think that these 5 samples
based on our product quality.
Yeah, you think that this basically is representative of this 75. You are saying that all these are produced on the same set of conditions. Or when you are taking a process data, you are saying that within this 1 hour of time, the process parameters are almost same. The process conditions are almost same. That's why you are collecting data every 1 hour. If the process conditions are varying, you will collect the data every 30 minutes. So subgroup size decision will be up to your organization. It can go up to 25 also. Subgroup size can go up to 25 also. So now if the subgroup is up to 10, you are going to use X bar R chart. And if the subgroup is above 10, you are going to use X bar S chart, standard deviation chart, because above that much data, range doesn't have any impact. What you need to look at is the standard deviation, how the variance is there, how the data is dispersed with respect to the average value. Got it? So tomorrow what we are going to do is to go into more detail of this X bar R chart. We will see again how to calculate this X bar, how to calculate the R range. Then you need to take the X double bar value, averages of the average, that is the X double bar, and then you need to calculate the LCL and UCL. Okay. So tomorrow we will go through how to prepare a X bar R chart. Again, I am telling all this is a theory. What you need to do, you need to try, you get some data. I will be very happy if tomorrow you people send me prepare the individual moving range chart from the data. IMR chart we studied today. Tomorrow take out some 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Take any data of your plant, 25 data, 30 data. Calculate LCL, UCL, plot the data on the Excel sheet, plot it manually on the piece of paper. Possible, it is possible. So that your concepts are more clear. When you try it, when you calculate it, you will get more, say, confidence also, and you will come to know what mistakes you are making, so you can correct it in time. The more you try, more your concepts will be clear. So please try to make IMR chart. Tomorrow we will study this X bar R chart and then X bar S chart also. And also we need to tomorrow finish the charts for the attributes. Okay, that is C chart, U chart, NP chart and P chart. So tomorrow we will go through X bar R chart, X bar S chart and remaining charts. So any question if you have, you can raise, else we will close the today's session.
Can you go to the previous slide? I mean, Excel chart.
Excel sheet you want?
Yes, sir.
Which one? IMR chart or X bar R chart?
Yes, sir. I checked MR chart. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. This is what you want? IMR chart? This is how we prepare the X chart.
So query section screen only visible, sir.
So you are seeing the graph, no?
No, sir. The Excel sheet. I want to see the Excel sheet. I chart and MR chart formula.
Yeah, I have shared the Excel sheet now. You are not
visible, sir. Standard deviation chart. Yes, sir. X bar standard deviation screen only visible, sir.
What is visible? X bar?
Okay, sir. Okay. Now it's visible. Sir, range chart. How to prepare this range chart?
Yeah, range chart is basically you calculated the range for every control chart. What you require for preparing a control chart, you require the data. Okay, so data here is the range data that you calculated. This is the range data you calculated. From the data, you calculated the range, individual range. Okay, then you require the average. Average is what? Not of the average of the data, average of the range. That is moving range average. So this is your moving range average, 0.933 something. then you need to calculate the LCL and UCL. This is the LCL and UCL. So now you have the individual data. So I will select this individual data. Just a minute. Okay, I will select the individual data. Then you require the average. This 933, this is the average. And then you require the LCL and UCL. The range chart LCL is this one, and for the range chart UCL is this one. You select all these parameters and you go to the insert, you go to the chart, line chart, and you prepare the chart. This chart is ready. All the ranges here, if you compare it, this chart 1.2, you see this is 1.2, 1.1, this is 1.1. So all these ranges, this is like 2.6. So this point is
Sir, one more request.
yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, one more request. I think my network is slow.
Yeah. What
Shall
you
we?
can do? What you can do? I am going to share you the video also. Video recording, it is very clear. So you can go through the video recordings of this particular part, and if you have any if you have any issue, we will clarify again. Don't worry.
Okay, sure, sir.
So you go through the video recordings. I will share with you, and in case any doubt, again you can ask. We will again elaborate tomorrow. No problem.
Okay, sure, sir.
Okay, yeah. So anybody else is having any questions? Okay, so I am closing the today's session then, and see you people tomorrow. Please come on time, because tomorrow we need to cover a lot of things. So I am going to start the session right at 7 o'clock. Okay, 6:50 it will open, and 7 o'clock I am going to start the session, because we need to prepare tomorrow almost 6 charts. Okay, so good night, take care, see you people tomorrow. Bye bye.